gotta sneeze. Oh, I hate when that happens. Happy Saturday. Cleaning my makeup brushes. I admit it is actually long overdue, namely because I hardly use them anymore. I am barefaced a lot more these days, so. But I've been getting some requests on the request line, so I thought I'd just do it live. So maybe this week I can run up some views with a makeup look or two. So I've got this filled with some all-purpose cleaner and disinfectant because, as you've probably seen me say about a few other things, that cleaning and disinfecting are two different things. So we got a whole bag of brushes here. Whole bag of brushes to clean. We'll get through what we get through, right? So I have this spin thing. And I actually like using this because it actually, the brushes tend to dry a lot faster because it's kind of like a spin cycle in the wash. So I like doing that. So come on in, say hello. We'll see how long I'm here. You can see too. It's getting the water dirty. And then just rinse it. You can get these things really cheap on my Amazon store. I can drop the link. I like to rub it across my hand. And it is in fact clean. My hand is clean too, but I'm gonna rinse it again and then put it on the spin cycle. Now I saw this video on Instagram yesterday and I was like, baby, what is you doing? They I can feel the water hitting my face. They had this little, like, in Europe they use a lot of like little portable laundry things because if you know anything about Europe, like living spaces there are really, really tiny, just like New York. And so you have to make the most of your living space. And so they were using a wash machine that was clearly made for your laundry. And they put all their brushes and sponges in there. And I'm just like, you are damaging your brushes and your sponges, and they're not even clean at the end of the day. So like, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time? And it's kind of upsetting because some dum-dum is gonna see that and they're gonna think that they can do that, and then when their brushes fall apart, they're not gonna understand why. So see, it's getting it clean. I love these brushes, they're vegan. They're pretty decent brushes. So rinse it. Now a lot of times what I'll do is I'll run them up through this and then set them aside and rinse them all together at once. So then just kind of spin it out. Hey Danielle, hey Tanya, hey Rebecca. And then pull this out. Now there are different size heads for this. So let's see, will this one fit? So this one is in here. You can see dirt, and we'll throw it in here. Let it flap around. If you can see that like I can. See it flapping around. Now some of these, sometimes I have to rub them on something else. Oh, that actually, yeah, came nice and clean. I'm gonna put it in there just a little bit longer though. put some new batteries in here too. The batteries that were in there lasted for quite a long time, but I put some rechargeable ones in there. I use rechargeable batteries as much as I can. Probably need to buy some more, because I always like to have at least a full set that's charged in case anything needs to be redone. So, like that. Okay, and so when you wash your brushes, what you want to do is you want to lay them flat, because if you like use them this way, leave them up this way to dry, what happens is all that water goes down and they actually get warped and they get damaged. So you want to lay them flat, you want to space them apart. I like to use an antimicrobial thing to lay them on. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, this one is good and dirty. You see that? Let's get this baby clean. This makes brush cleaning so much easier though. We'll see. This one might have to go directly to a bar of soap. Because that one is good and dirty. Yeah, I might have to take this one. I mean, it got a little better, but it's got to definitely go on some soap. So I just have a bar of soap. I love grabbing them when I'm at a hotel. You can use the Castile soap too and just see how it... And then I'm going to rinse the soap off. And I like to do that. Just really get all that shadow loosened. Okay, you can see it's coming out cleaner now. I actually have a brush cleaner spray downstairs. You can see it's still pretty. So let's put it back in the barrel and see what it do. So if you're here and watching, tell me how was your week. Tell me something good. So I'm not cleaning brushes by myself, talking to myself. Yeah, this one is gonna take some more. That's okay though. Kind of like heavy soil when you do the laundry. This one might just end up being stained too, because as I'm cleaning it, it's coming fairly clean. Like there's not a lot more that's coming out. Not a lot more, so it might just be that it's stained. Now you can buy those mats on Amazon too. But I figure the back of my hand works just fine. I feel like I gotta sneeze again. Now I'm manually swishing it around in that little fishbowl thing. And I'm gonna rinse it and then put it back on the thing so that it will, kind of like I said, spin it out. Like a spin toothbrush. This is what I swear by that helps them dry faster, is to use this little thingy. Okay, so I think we're good on that one. going through and finding the brushes that will, no, that's too big for it. It fits. It's going down in there. People don't realize that you should disinfect the brushes, but you definitely should. And you definitely shouldn't use brushes that have just been used on someone else without being cleansed and disinfected. That's just nasty. Okay, so that one's good to go. Honestly, one of my best practices, one of my best pieces of advice is to actually clean your brushes between, you know, after you use them. Just do that every day, especially depending on the colors. Like I said, I like these vegan brushes, but they have white bristles. And like I said, I don't know. I actually prefer black bristles. My hands get pretty raw after doing this. I actually will wash my brushes in loads too. And even clean brushes, I will wash them and disinfect them if they've been sitting a while and I haven't used them. Alright, I got a sponge here, so I'm going to do that next. And what I actually tend to do is I usually kind of let them soak in that solution that I created. But I like to do a little pre-wash too. Like I said, I see some crazy stuff online. You know, I don't know why I'm wearing a white shirt doing this. I see some crazy stuff online, like what people do to clean their brushes, and it's like, oh, okay. Like I said, you do not want to throw your brushes or sponges in the washing machine. You will ruin them. A little more. Hey girl, hey. Hey Erica. So just a little scrub dub dub. I used to love that song when I was a kid. Dub dub dub, 3 men in the tub. Ooh. Whenever I clean my makeup brushes, I always remember little microaggressions from corporate America. Like, 2 people can have makeup on and get makeup on their shirt, but they'll say the darker skinned person is dirty because their makeup is more visible, but both have makeup on their shirt. And it's just, like, the things people say. The things people say. So I'm actually going to dump this water out and start some new water. I feel like I didn't grab all my brushes from downstairs, and I should have. I mean, all my sponges. We'll see if they're in here. Back there. So I got a sponge soaking in here, and I'm just manually swishing around, and we're clean. We got a clean one. Hey, hey, hey. Hello, hello, hello. Just kind of speeding it up a little bit. So as you're rinsing under the water, you always want it pointing down, like on an angle. You don't want it up this way because, again, the water gets down in there. It'll damage the barrel. I need a cream cleanser for my brushes like I have for my face so I can not have all this water everywhere. I feel like there's just water everywhere today. Put a towel on. Oh boy. So I've switched this and there's still just a little bit, so I'm going to take it to the soap. And you can see it's looking better. So you can see, I'm just going to squeeze it, kind of leave it like that. And we got a big flat top foundation brush, gonna swirl that in there. And the bottom of the bowl has some bridges on it, so that kind of helps with the agitation. Still the foundation brushes, I mean, it gets down in there, so. It's always good to kind of squeeze it. Squeeze it. Squeeze it. There you go. One thing I'll do too, when I put two brushes next to each other with space, I'll have them like this so that the two ends, so that gives you more space too when you lay them down. All right, well, what else we got here? What else we got? You got to clean these too for your brows and all that. See how it's coming off? See all that coming off? So that's how I like to clean that. you go. Another big brush. This one is actually pretty easy to clean. It doesn't take much. But it's one of my favorite brushes. Clean. It's another one of my favorite brushes. I actually sometimes like to do this in the slop sink in the basement because it can be messy. But it's clean. And then, like I said, I like to kind of shape it and dry the barrel off too. And lay it to dry. You can also lay them so that the actual brush is coming off of a ledge. That is another great tip. I'm going to clean this dirty water, and this towel is dirty too, so I need that out of my sight. Another one down. So you see how muddy the water is. But yeah, I've corrected people in the workplace for calling people dirty when getting makeup on your shirt is a pretty common type thing. So you can see the sponge has come a lot cleaner. And set that over there. Fill this up with some more water and solution. And we are ready for some more brushes. I don't know, I like doing the bigger brushes. They're just so easy. And I feel like I've gotten so much done when I get the bigger brushes out of the way. So I like to kind of go for them first. And honestly, that black top that goes on there is kind of a nuisance. So I took that off. Hey girl, hey. So I've got water in here. I've got a natural all-purpose cleaner and a natural disinfectant in there. And just swish it around. You can see look at that, it's mostly clean already. Swish it, swish it. Hey Maggie girl, hey Mags. And then we got Big Bertha. Put Big Bertha in there. See how quickly she muddies the waters. And I do want to take her to the soap a little bit. Like the older you get, you can expect them just like your socks or t-shirts to get vivid white bright, but you want to get them back as close as you can to the color they were when you bought them. And how I gauge that is by whatever I squeeze out. Is it clean? Is it coming through clean? And when you're rinsing it, is the water rinsing clean or is it still rinsing muddy? If it's still rinsing muddy, you still need to keep at it. So this one is rinsing clean. So there we go. There we go, yo. There we go, yo. So what's the scenario? I have lots of these. I probably am not going to stay on live for this whole bag because I'm probably only going to do half of it and then do the other half tomorrow. Because my neck, my back. What is everybody up to this weekend? It supposedly got up to 60 degrees today. I've only seen it at 48. I haven't seen the thing hit 60 or even 50 yet. But I mean, 48 ain't too bad. It's been a really low-key, lazy kind of day for me. Other than these brushes. Another one and another one. Actually, I'm going to put just a little bit of soap on there. Yeah, that was a good call. And keep in mind too, I have more brushes than most people have. I have like probably at least 7 or 8 sets of brushes. So most people usually only have, some people have like 3 or 4, and if you're lucky up to 8, maybe 12. But when you're talking like, especially like your influencer type folks, you're going to be looking at probably multiple sets of brushes, and because you want to have clean brushes for blending so that your look doesn't end up muddy. So you might use 3 different brushes just to apply, and then like 2 or 3 brushes to actually blend it out. And you know, you're going to want to start out with one of those blending brushes being a clean brush, so that the look doesn't end up muddy. And so that's why someone like me will end up with so many makeup brushes. But I mean, there are some people that are still doing makeup like that, but I mean, 2 years ago the real world hit us, and so nobody's really, you know. In fact, like Makeup Geek, it's actually kind of, she said it's bittersweet, it's not sad. Marlena Saul, she was an influencer, one of the first ones to come out with her own line, Makeup Geek, and they are closing. They are closing the end of April. The whole site is 40% off. And like I said, it's bittersweet. She's the person that when I wanted to learn how to get better at blending my eyeshadows, that's how I thought of it. And, you know, her YouTube videos really, really helped me a lot because it had these diagrams on there and it really made it make sense for me. Because, you know, 10, 15 years ago, I was using the little diagram on the back of the little 4 quad that I would buy at Walgreens. And then eventually I graduated to MAC, and so I went in there and asked for some brushes, and they kind of told me 3 or 4 brushes to get, but not really how to use them. And, you know, growing up, there wasn't no YouTube or anything like that for girls like me. We learned from each other, and that's why our eyebrows and stuff looked like they did. back in the 90s because we didn't know what we were doing. Even from magazines, you couldn't really learn necessarily how to do it. So nobody was like hosting makeup classes, or definitely not webinars. So we all kind of just learned from each other, good, bad, and indifferent, right? And so, you know, what you're seeing is makeup is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it, at one point, was like exploding because of social media, right? And so you can see my hand is getting raw, even discolored. You know, you could even see like all these indie brands popping up, and you know, Kylie Jenner became a billionaire, if only on paper. And so what's happening now, because people have been in the house, they've been focusing more on their skin, which they should have been in the first place. People are wearing less makeup, less dramatic makeup. The style of makeup that they're wearing, a lot more natural, even the colors. And so, you know, I do see some comeback, especially like lips and bold lips are making a comeback related to different trends that are happening right now. But maybe I should turn this just a little bit. So it is making somewhat of a comeback, but what's happened is, as always, the little guy is going to feel it the hardest, and it's always going to be the hardest for them to weather the storm. And, you know, she said there was a lot to do with sourcing and COVID that shut them down. I'm sure things being left on freight containers for months has impacted them. So, you know, this is why shopping small and that is important. I mean, it is Small Business Saturday. So, get those clean. And I'm running out of room. What else can I sneak in today? I really like to have a lot of blending brushes. But this is why I invest in good brushes, because this is a MAC brush that I've had since like 2010, 2011. You know, I remember like, dang, MAC, I could go buy a whole pack of brushes for that price at Walgreens. But it is what it is, right? You get what you pay for. You get what you pay for. So I think this is it. I'm gonna call it, and I will be live a few times this coming week. I kind of have an idea about what, but I've got to really plan it out and that. So that's what I'm gonna do next, and I will see y'all next week.